Hello, welcome to my channel. My channel is all about soap making and handmade products. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave me comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Thank you for supporting my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram at the Scraftworks for more sneak peeks and ongoing projects. This is the second YouTube collaboration I'm joining, hosted by Renee from Soaps for Love. It was so fun joining the last collaboration of Flower Power. You can go back to watch that video of our last collab if you're interested by clicking on the I button on the top right hand corner. Please remember to check out the work of other collaborators using the hashtag down in the description box, and other useful information and time links to the video will also be in the description box. This time our theme is wonderful water, and I have decided to set my soap on a pond filled with lilies. So right now I'm making the soap lilies and leaves to be put in the pond. So after getting the soap into a light trace, I added my essential oil blend of basil, sweet fennel, and rosemary. I then slitted my batch into about half and colored it with spirulina to create green leaves. I also added a touch of activated charcoal to anchor the green since spirulina often fades. After mixing well, I poured it into a square slab mold. Set it aside to keep it insulated for a brighter green. And now I'll pour about less than half of the leftover soap. I then coloured the lesser half with Tumeric to create a yellowish orange for the lilies. I left the other uncoloured for a white colour. I used the formula with light oils to create a white coloured soap. I also added some Kaolin clay which I didn't catch on camera. I'll be using a piping tip that should be the closest to the Wilton 120 tip to pipe my flowers. I'm also making a smaller piping bag by cutting the top off to make it easier to work with later. Placing it this way in the cup will make it easier to transfer the soap into the bag. Once the soap is at the right consistency, I transferred the soap into the piping bags. I left the soap to set up a bit more so that it holds its shape more, and now it's time to pipe the lilies. I did some modifications to the lilies simply because the soap is too soft to stand up on its own, and so here's how I made the lilies. After a few days, I unmolded the green soap, ready to make some leaves. I took a lid from one of my bottles and stamped circles from the soap. Then using a heart-shaped cookie cutter, I aimed to cut one side of the circle to create an indent of a leaf. And since the soap is still quite soft, I smoothed out any uneven edges and cuts from the cookie cutter. Once I've got my shape, I added the details of the leaves by using a plastic knife. Having all my soap embeds ready, I am making my base soap. This collaboration requires 2 layers using 2 different techniques, and of course using blue to represent water. After getting it to a light trace, I added my essential oil blend of peppermint, lemongrass, and lemon for the base soap. I slitted the soap batter into half by eyeballing. I then coloured it using cocoa powder and added some coffee grounds to represent the soil in the pond. I mixed well using a stick blender and I blended it until it achieved a thick trace to support the second layer. I then poured it into the mold. Coming back to the second layer, I will be doing an in the pot swirl. First colouring the whole batch bluish green with indigo powder and spirulina, then I poured out about half to another container and darkened that part using activated charcoal. Plopping that into the bowl and gave it a quick mix, Then I just added it on top of the brown layer as the water in the pond. Using a spatula, I smoothed out the top of the soap. Afterwards, I just placed the leaves on top of the soap randomly. I cut some of the leaves in half to fit the sides of the mold as well. Doing the same for the lilies, I also added some soap to the bottom of the lilies, making sure that they are in place and will not fall off the soap when I cut it. Here's how the finished soap looks like. Carefully unmolding the soap after 2 days, making sure that I don't ruin the top of the soap. I must steam this soap since this is a pond. Look at the shine it gives after steaming the soap. Now cutting the soap into equal portions. I totally feel like I'm ruining the soap cutting this. Anyone else feels this? Let me know in the comments. Here are 2 distinct layers and the coffee grounds showing through as the soil. The dark blue of the pond giving contrast to the white flowers. Turned out better than I expected, even though the flowers aren't really lilies. This clearly shows how lilies beautifully thrive in the wonderful water of the ponds. Here is a closer look to the soap with more pictures. Let me know what you think of the soap and don't forget to check out the other videos of this wonderful collaboration. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos.